you're watching this, you have probably already asked ChatGPT to help you write a blog post or some other kind of content before, but have you ever asked it to help you get more traffic? If not, this is the thing that is missing from your content marketing strategy. And in this video, I'm gonna share 3 ways you can actually make that happen. We're gonna talk about optimizing your content, positioning yourself online, and how to use ChatGPT to drive traffic to your website. If you're new here, then hey, I'm Jill Wise. I offer fractional marketing direction and mentorship to my clients, and using AI tools like ChatGPT is just the tip of the iceberg. We actually build custom tools for a lot of my clients, and this is something that I am obsessed with lately. And I just wanna share everything that I've learned with you. The day I realized that I could actually use ChatGPT to help drive traffic to my website, game changing. And if you're an entrepreneur, you know that traffic is everything. The number of people that are looking at your content, that are visiting your website, that is going to directly impact your revenue. So let's get into the ChatGPT powered traffic driving strategies that you can implement in your business like today. First, before anything else, you need good content. This is more important than anything. If you don't have content going out for your business, then it's going to be really hard for you to get traffic. It doesn't matter as much what channels you're on right now, but you need to start somewhere. A cool thing is that AI can actually see a lot of what's on social media now too, and because of this, you can optimize your social content to show up in chat searches even better. So starting to post content, at least on social media, is step 1, and then from there you can grow your content marketing strategy to have a long form channel as well. Something like a blog or a YouTube or a podcast. If you look at it, almost every single thought leader in your industry, in most industries, they all have something that they're sharing long form online. Think of the people that you're watching on YouTube, the podcasts that you're listening to, the blogs that you're searching for, and then think of your own ChatGPT or Claude, whatever AI you're using. Think of your own usage of that and the types of links that are showing up when you're asking questions. Because if you haven't noticed yet, often when you ask a question, there will be sources and little bubbles that are linked below that are going to show you where it's actually drawing this information from. So reverse engineering this, you can be one of those sources that's linked if you are putting good content out online. Starting with at least socials, but I definitely recommend having at least one long form channel for every entrepreneur, every brand, every business that wants to be found online. I feel like there's this weird debate in the online business and online marketing worlds where people are like, ads are better and organic content is better. And it's really not that one is better than the other, it's that they have different roles. Your organic content is going to help with your searchability and your brand awareness and the brand growth and just people understanding that you know what you're talking about, what it is that you stand for, and really connecting with you. And your ads, your paid ads, are where you can get more conversion focused to launch something specific, to help them take a specific action. So it's not really one is better than the other, but they need to work together. Always, I think, starting with organic content because that costs you more time than money, and then that helps you see what's working and what kind of audience you can build. And then when that is working well, you can translate that over to your paid traffic too. I'm gonna give you an example of how ChatGPT helped me find a specific post that I saw on Instagram and I had lost because I didn't save it, and it was really cool. So I was looking for a specific, it was a funny post I wanted to share with someone, and I hadn't saved it, and I knew what the topic was about, and I knew the song that it was using, but I couldn't find it when I was searching for the song itself. And by doing that and narrowing it down to the type of content that was in the video, who was in the video, and the song that it was using, it actually found the exact video that I was referencing. Now, this is a really specific example, but you can reverse engineer that for your own brand. Maybe you share news tips about something specific to your industry, and somebody is using ChatGPT in your industry to find things that are trending right now. So if you are constantly posting things that are trending in your industry and somebody is using ChatGPT to search and crawl and see what is happening lately, then it's likely that it could recommend you to this user to then get you traffic. I've seen the results of this in my own business a few ways. First, in the actual traffic that I'm getting to my website, which if you aren't using Google Analytics yet, you should be. Go check that and you can see where your referrals are coming from. And for myself, I can see that I'm getting referrals from ChatGPT. Another one is that recently I actually got a lead in my Instagram DMs because ChatGPT had recommended me for funnel stuff specifically. And that's because a lot of the work that I do with my clients is growing their brand, fixing funnels, optimizing their pipelines, and just building that whole ecosystem for people to come in and work their way through the business. And ChatGPT knows that because of the content that I'm putting out. So the first rule of any marketing, but specifically getting traffic with ChatGPT, is posting content consistently and becoming known for something. The second way you can power your traffic with ChatGPT is asking it to help you optimize for GEO or AIO. It's up for debate still of what we're going to call it, but it seems to be that most people are either calling it Generative Engine Optimization instead of Search Engine Optimization, so like generative AI, and others are calling it AI optimization. So that's what the GEO and AIO stands for. But you can have ChatGPT help you optimize your blog posts and your other content to show up in chat searches even better. And I'll give you some examples of this at play. So first, if we were looking at my YouTube strategy, I come up with my ideas and then I'm actually going to plug those into my ChatGPT to help refine those ideas. So I will start with the bigger picture, the things that relate to my brand and the things that my clients are asking and leads are asking. And that's how I kind of come up with my topics and my content pillars. And then I can plug that into ChatGPT to help optimize the specific notes even further. This speeds up my workflow, but I think it actually helps make it even better because then it's not just my brain that's working on the strategy. So ChatGPT helps me find any gaps, any things that I didn't think of. It offers suggestions for examples because it knows my business. So this way, the content that I'm putting out on YouTube, I think, is a lot more complete and it's performing a lot better than those from the earlier days of my channel. So that's really cool. The trick is that I'm not letting it come up with all of these ideas from scratch for me, but I am leading that process and giving it the brand instructions and my own strategic brain and the research that I've done, and then working to co-create more detailed scripts from it. So you can use this in your business to help you with the strategy to make sure that the content you're putting out is the most likely to resonate with your ideal clients and customers, and just co-create with something instead of having to think of it all on your own. So especially if you're not a strategist, this is a really helpful tool. The next way I have ChatGPT optimize my content is I actually have a custom GPT that is my content repurposer. So once my YouTube videos are live, I can plug that link into my content repurposer and it helps me turn every single YouTube video into a blog post. It is not doing all of the work on its own. I have it set up again to be part of my workflow. So I am bringing some keyword research, I am bringing my blog strategy to it, and I'm letting it help me co-create those blog posts based off of the information that's actually in my videos, not just scraping things from the internet, so that I'm sure that it is my own thoughts and it's going to be a pretty complete blog post, not ones that you would like, you know, the ones you can tell that ChatGPT wrote because you asked it to write you a blog post about X and it gave you a listicle that is like 400 words. That's not what we want. These are actually good, complete SEO optimized blogs. So that's another way that I'm using ChatGPT to increase my website traffic. That is really helpful. And then actually after I edit the post that it creates, I plug that back into the system and I have it give me suggestions of ways that I can further optimize for GEO or AI. Whatever you want to call it. Someone knocked on my door, so hopefully we are in the same spot here. So a little tip for your GEO, let's call it optimization, is the FAQ. If you don't have FAQ in your blog post yet, start adding it, because when you think about it, that's how people use ChatGPT often. They will go into it and they will ask it questions. They use it kind of like a more targeted Google machine, which isn't really the best way to use it, but that's what people are doing. So you can add FAQ to your blog post, and that's a super simple way to start showing up in chat searches even more. So now when you're writing FAQ for any web page really, but specifically your blog post, you can not only think about the things that people are actually asking ChatGPT, but the ways that you can get more keywords into here as well, and the questions that are going to be really helpful for people who are like TLDR, don't want to read the whole post. You can put it all in there so that way it's optimized multiple ways. And that is kind of an overall business tip for you. If you're going to do something once, you want to be able to use it in multiple ways. That's just way more worth your time. So for your content optimization, definitely start with this area. And the third thing that you can do to get ChatGPT to send you more traffic is actually ask it when it would recommend you to other users. This helps you narrow your positioning and see how others are seeing you from the outside. So this is one of the easiest things that you can do. You can literally go into your ChatGPT, start a new conversation and say, what would you recommend me for? Like, what would people be searching for that you think would be relevant in order to recommend my blog, my socials, my YouTube channel, my podcast, and work with it to see where there's gaps, where it makes sense, and what you can do better to make it more clear about how you can help. I did a video about this on my Instagram page and people were really liking it, but it's really as simple as that. Just ask it how it would recommend you, and then that way you can get so much more clear on what it is that you stand for, who you're trying to help, and all of those details. So not only is it going to help you refine your content, but also your brand positioning overall, which is really important, and you really need to know this regardless of what your marketing strategy is. Before I send you on your way to get started on all of these traffic optimization tips, I want to talk about some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. The first one is that if you are going to be generic with your inputs to ChatGPT, then you're going to get generic outputs. So if you're going to use ChatGPT to create content for your business, for example, then you need to be really specific about your brand message, your positioning, your offers, your voice, your style, who it is that you're trying to reach. You really need those audience insights in order to create something that's actually good. So if you've been trying to use ChatGPT to create content and you are just not happy with the results, that's probably because the inputs that you're giving it aren't good enough. Bad inputs equals bad outputs. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people get stuck with these viral prompts that they see online, and they think that that's enough to get something good out of ChatGPT. And while it can be helpful to have a good prompt to use, it's not always as simple as just copying and pasting that prompt. You really need to be clear on what your business is and how to lead your AI tools in order to create the results that you want, just like you would a human team member. That's honestly how I approach all of my AI tools. Is I am the leader and this is my co-creator, and it's not going to make all of the decisions for me, but it can be really smart in helping me do the things that I'm already doing faster and better. Better is the key too, because it's not just about making it faster, but you want to be able to make stronger work at the end. So that's really the last pitfall there. First is that you give it generic inputs, so you get generic outputs. You don't have your audience insights, so you're not going to have that relevance for your own audience. And then the third thing is just the lack of strategic direction. Like, you really need to lead your AI tools in order to create the output that you want. Now, to solve these problems, the best way that I've found so far is actually creating custom GPTs that fulfill a specific role within your workflow or your business. I like to think of them as actual team members that are each doing a job. I even have job descriptions for all of my GPTs to be really clear on where everything falls into place. I have a whole video about custom GPTs and things that you need to know before you start creating those, so I can link that here. But to give you an idea of what is possible with these custom GPTs is that you are basically preloading it with the strategy, the workflow, any training materials that you have, any branded materials. So I like to make sure that mine are really clear on my brand voice, my style, my formatting preferences, my frameworks, my overall processes, and how they fit in. I have been loving using these for myself. Like I mentioned, my content repurposer, I have a messaging strategist, I have a website copywriter, I have one helping me track my macros in my personal life. Like, it is so cool what you can do with these. And I'm also building these for clients as well, so that it becomes more of a strategic guided workshop style experience, rather than them having to go into their default chat and be the one to lead it if they're not exactly sure what direction to lead it in. I even just built one that I'm loving, which is an offboarding assistant, and it's helping me offboard clients and not just tell them where they need to go to get all of their things before we part ways, but actually help them write testimonials, good testimonials that I can use in my marketing materials going forward. So if you've ever had this experience before, you ask somebody to write a testimonial and they either write something that is generic and not super helpful, or they panic and they don't write something at all, or it takes them forever to. So this eliminates that, because it helps them write different variations that are specific and based in metrics, which we know is good for your marketing materials. And it even zaps it over to my cloud so that I have it all in one place when I need it. So there's so much that you can do with custom GPTs, and it doesn't even need to be that complicated, and you don't even need to set it up yourself if you don't want to. In terms of using custom GPTs to get more traffic to your website, you could have a content repurposer like I do. You could get ones that are helping you optimize your blog content or your YouTube. You could even have one help you keep tabs on trending news in your industry, so that you can add your opinions to things that are happening right now. Like, that is a really good way to grow your thought leadership online. So recapping all of this for you, the ways that you can have ChatGPT send you more traffic are fairly simple. First, you need to create good content, and you can have it help you create better content. The second one is that you can have it help you optimize that content so that you show up in AI searches even more. And third is that you can use it to help narrow your positioning and make sure that the content you're putting out and the brand message that you're sharing actually aligns with what you would be recommended for and how you're being perceived by potential customers. If you try any of these ideas, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to get better at marketing yourself online and get more clear on what your core message really is, then you should check out Billy, my AI messaging assistant. She's super helpful and she walks you through my strategic branding workshop and helps you create a complete playbook by the end that you can then go plug into your own GPT and overall just use this as reference material when you're creating your content, so you know what it is that you stand for and how to talk about it in a way that's actually going to resonate with your ideal clients. So I will leave the link to grab that below as well. I'm super excited about this tool. The people that have been using it are loving it, which is really cool to see. They say that it feels like they're talking to me in an actual strategy session, which I just love. Okay, I will leave you there. And as always, thank you so much for watching.